Straight Talk. The Film Cynics with Steve and Brian on CFAX 1070.
Welcome back from the news break. We hope you found it informative. My name is Steve Johnston. I'm joined by Brian Dukowicz on the Film Cynics on CFAX 1070. We have a very special guest this week. His name is Kai Parker. He is the Kaiderman from The List. He is joining us via telephone from California. Where exactly are you in California there, Kai?
I'm near Orange County. I grew up in Orange County, California. You've probably seen the OC on MTV or something like that.
Don't call it that.
Yeah.
Zing. What's
Nice
that from,
reference. Arrested Development.
Nice. Now, we've been talking movies for pretty much the first half of the show. Let's switch gears and talk basically what could have easily been a movie, but it was turned into a beautiful television series. It's already been... the first season isn't over. The second season's already paid for. It's called The Walking Dead. You can see it on AMC. It's all about the zombie apocalypse, and it's basically set in
Atlanta.
Atlanta area. And I don't know if it ranges anywhere out of there. It's an adaptation of a comic book. I don't know how far they go from in places in the United States. But Kai, you've been watching? You a fan?
Oh, dear God. The Walking Dead is proof that God loves me. I've actually, I actually picked up the books back in, I think 2006 or 2007. I've been a long time fan of the books, and this is like the greatest thing to ever happen to me.
Okay.
When I heard about the series, there's a lot of talk on the internet months ago about Frank Darabont doing a new AMC show about zombies, and people kind of started getting really excited. And then they started leaking some stills of the zombie effects, of the zombie makeup, and they were amazing. So people got even more excited. And then they finally started airing it on Halloween, and it has lived up to all the hype.
It's the best. It's the best zombies I've ever seen, I think, as far as the makeup and stuff like that.
They're really creepy.
Yeah, they are.
It's been the first time I've seen an actual paraplegic zombie. I'm not talking about the one who was crawling without legs. I'm talking about one of the ones who was crawling on her hands in the city. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess there's people in wheelchairs that get bitten and turn into zombies, and just because they're the undead doesn't mean they can get up and walk again.
Yeah, it's an equal opportunity thing.
Yes, exactly.
The one thing I really love about this show is that it's a slow burn for one, so it's not always trying to figure out why it all happened. It's trying to deal with being in the situation at the moment, which I think is great. But a lot of it happens during the day, which most zombie movies happen at night in the darkness, and it's always they just pop around the corner and you get scared. But here it's just the sort of you just see them and they're just wandering around in the city. And it's kind of creepy, but it's not at the same time.
Well, in all fairness, they couldn't set Night of the Living Dead during the day. That would kind of defeat the purpose.
Zing.
True, but all zombie films seem to happen at night in the dark.
True.
Or most
I will say I'm a little concerned. Like you say, it's a slow burn. At the same time, I feel like I know where the story goes, and they've been pretty faithful to the book so far, and I pray to God they stick with that path. They are enjoying some creative freedom with it, but they're pretty faithful. I'm concerned because of the pace they're going at that people might get bored, that the allure of having zombies on television could wear off. So I would really like to encourage people to stick with it because the story is dark and twisted, and if they're going to go the route the books go, it's going to be amazing. The show is fantastic.
Yes.
Well, the whole thing with that old folks home, the hospital that was in, I guess that was the last episode.
Week,
yeah. That wasn't in the first book, and my understanding was that the first season was supposed to be the first book. The first book is the only one I've read. So I don't know if they're borrowing from later on in the series or not.
No, in fact, I don't recall the old folks home. I don't recall the Michael Rooker character.
Yeah,
that's why I'm saying I think they're having some creative freedom, but basically everybody's where they're supposed to be. And what I like best is, did you guys see the recent episode?
We haven't seen tonight's.
Yeah.
Well, not tonight's, but last week's.
Yes.
Okay. People die. People you think aren't going to die.
Yes, I love that.
And the story, they're not afraid to do that, and that's what I like. No one is ever safe. They treat it like a real situation, and they let the characters inhabit what would really happen.
That I love that too, because most shows, like my main example is Heroes, was a show that started, and some of those characters should have been killed off.
Yeah.
Just to make the story progress, but they didn't. They kept everybody around because they thought it was a hit, and the story got boring. The best part of any show is when at any moment anyone can disappear. And that is what's great about Walking Dead, is that there's these people that you're like, oh, this person's pretty cool, and they have a relationship with what seems like a main character, and then all of a sudden that person's dead.
Yes.
And your cast is now down to 11 instead of 12.
I mean, I do find it kind of touching or cute that the writers or producers don't want to, they get attached to their characters. They don't want to get rid of them.
Yeah.
But I think more of what's happening is probably contractual obligations. They sign the guy on for a full season. Hey, if they're paying for him for a season, they're going to keep, they're going to keep him on the show.
Well, they shouldn't do that, though.
I'm fine with that. No, if Kirkland's, when he wrote the books, if his idea was to get rid of a character and they paid for a season worth, keep him around the season, but do what Kirkland did. I'm fine with that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I just follow. I'm begging them to follow the book. I really want people to keep watching this show. I'm almost on here to promote that because I'm doing it for selfish reasons. Because I want to see this thing continue, and so far they're doing really well. Like you said, they got renewed for a second season. Just stick with the show.
So
they're doing a great job so far.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it.
I'm trying to read between the lines of what you're trying to say here. So my impression is that you've read, having read all the books, that you are looking forward to some stuff.
Yes.
What precisely are you looking forward to?
No spoilers.
No, I don't know spoilers, but what kind of stuff?
I will say that a prison comes into play at some point.
Yeah.
There's no way that they can avoid it. I think they will go there. Just stick with the show. If it becomes boring for you, stick with the show till they find a prison.
I heard they are toying with the idea of doing what they did in the second book, which going into wintertime rather than sweltering summertime.
Yes.
So snow. I don't think it ever snows in Atlanta.
In northern Georgia. Right?
Well, maybe.
It's in the book. There's snow, but I don't know. I haven't been to Georgia.
Yeah.
Seems like a lovely place. I just haven't made the Mecca.
Here, I had an interesting thought. I was thinking about this over the weekend, and the title "The Walking Dead," and you see zombies, and you assume that they're referencing the zombies are the Walking Dead. I was looking at it as the survivors are the Walking Dead because they only have so much time left before they're eventually going to either run out of food or resources, or they're going to get killed. So they're the ones that are just wandering around waiting to die.
Well, that's a great way of looking at it because what's compelling about this story is not the zombies. The zombies make a great backdrop. Zombie films try to capitalize on the fact of the human element, what these situations do to humans. I've never seen a story do it so well than The Walking Dead. So I like your assessment of that. Yeah, it is the people that are the driving force of these stories. I
think it's great that they're finally telling a zombie story over a series, like in television, so you don't have to rush through everything, and you can let the characters develop relationships. You understand why people are there, why people have to die, and it's not always just about finding a cure and moving on. So I think it's amazing. It is the zombie genre in general is kind of set up in a way to fit TV better than I think film because it is a long story. It's a survival story.
Yeah.
Great. I think that's great, yeah.
All right, The Walking Dead on AMC, so around these parts, that's Channel 47. It's on your basic cable, as far as I understand. It's not digital.
Is it?
As far as I understand, so don't hold me to that. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Kai's got a top 5 for us. Stay with us.